All right, what's going on, family? Welcome back to another Real Talk. I pray everybody's doing well as we off top give the Holy Spirit all the honor, the glory, and definitely all praise and worship. Coming from off of that live chat yesterday when we talked about true worshipers, and I came from a you know spiritual standpoint as being a man of the Most High and also a musician. And this is going to be like a part two from that on yesterday because there may be a lot of people that's listening may not understand some of the things I'm saying in this video. Um, because if you have been just only caught on the music and you never catch the lyrics or you never do your research on where a song come from or what did the producer or what did the writer, what did they truly mean in the type of songs that you listen to. And people email me all the time, as a musician, and they tell me, man, when you hear this song, what did to you, what did the artist mean in that song? What was they really writing about? And you may hear some music and take it the wrong way. Music is a weapon. It's very powerful. I can't explain really how powerful music is because music will play on your emotions. If you notice, there's a type of beat music for anything you got going on in your life, whether it's elevator music to trap music to hip hop, gangster, R&B, old school, different genres of music, we see that. And when the gospel field, if that's what you want to call it, I don't agree with that. When it became an industry, like I said in my old video, and you notice what I got going on at the bottom of the screen here. It says secular artists is mixed with gospel artists. Okay, I'm going to touch on this because I've had quite a few emails about this. But my main point too in this video is keep in mind with this: what did the artist mean in that song? The song have different meanings from what you thought the lyrics truly meant. And now we all know that music, according to what type of music you are listening to, especially if it's demonic, it ain't all music is bad. It's just the spirits behind music. And keep in mind when a lot of these artists or whoever wrote the songs, keep in mind a lot of them was on dope. Somebody better catch this. A lot of them was on drugs. A lot of them was drunks. A lot of them was hoeing around. A lot of them was just pouring their heart out, and you may not caught what they meant with the music. Okay, drunkenness. Even in the gospel field, everybody that you call anointed, some of them are demonic. Some of them have mixed in with the world, if you want to say secular, so much, and they can't figure out, well, why did those evil spirits jump off of them? This is why you got to be very careful with who you hang around. And then a lot of it is just about the money, money. But even in gospel, you notice a lot of them are very demonic. They fight with anxiety, drugs, depression, you name it. And you think, oh, by listening to them, oh, they singing so good, sound so good. And man, I didn't know they was going through this and going through that. But a lot of gospel artists that hang with the rappers, whether you talking about gospel rap, some of them get high together. Some of the men, they run women together. Some of the men sleeping with each other. Some of the women sleeping with each other. Somebody better tell the truth. And it's a lot of hypocrites out here. Because let me tell you something. I'm about to blow some of y'all mind because some of y'all don't do your research. Remember how many songs R. Kelly have wrote and produced. Now I used to laugh in a sad way because so many preachers with their favorite artists, Marvin Sapp, they love. Oh, I love Marvin Sapp. I love the Winers. I love such and such. Do you know how many they would bash R. Kelly because oh he's too sexual and he's just a sex symbol and his concerts women is grabbing on him and but don't you know R. Kelly wrote and produced for some of your favorite gospel artists? Mm. But you say throw Kelly under the bus. Kelly is he's a sex symbol. He did, but he wrote that music, those lyrics. He produced that music. He produced that whole thing for some of your favorite quote unquote gospel artists. See, somebody don't want to hear this. There is a song, what is the name of this song? I think it was called Listen. That song R. Kelly wrote for Marvin Sapp. And it blows people's mind when they realize I didn't know he wrote that because you don't do your research. What's your point, JT? Well, if you're not careful, those spirits travel. You ain't careful, you will become who you hang around. And one of your greatest songs that's, I don't know how many times it's been played, still to this day, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound that saved the wretch like me. Hmm. John Newton, who did the song Amazing Grace, who was at first racist, hmm, captain of the slave ships. Hmm. His behavior, his attitude, his ways, an unbeliever at first. He later on became a pastor, but when he wrote that song, when he saw the Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, he was talking about himself, how messed up he was. Most people that sing Amazing Grace, they won't even do the research on Amazing Grace. That's why some people don't like the song Amazing Grace. Even though I understand why you sing it, because we all was messed up. We all needed saving. But I'm just getting you to the facts of the song. This was a man who didn't even like black people at first. He was a racist. He talked about himself. Then he said he got delivered. Hmm. He was an atheist at first. That's why I said most people would not truly investigate the type of music that they listen to, and the artists are. What did they truly mean? Some of the greatest people that you love could very well be demonic, but you don't catch it. I'm reminded of D'Angelo back in the day. Brown Sugar. Those who love D'Angelo, most of them never did the investigation on what he was talking about in that song. Because back then also, D'Angelo used to be with Angie Stone. They got a son together. And when he came out with Brown Sugar, and they went through some hell with each other. But when he came out with the song Brown Sugar, a lot of people thought that song was about Angie Stone. Or maybe he's talking about another brown sister, brown skin, beautiful sister. But when it all came out and when D'Angelo explained it, he was talking about his love for marijuana. But you thought he was talking about a woman. Can I get you to my point? Music is just that powerful. And if you don't understand what you're listening to, what's behind it, See, I forgot who that was. I heard said this back in the day. That's why they said a secular artist and a spiritual artist should never mix together in that sense, because a lot of them songs, once again, when they was writing them songs, they was shooting dope up their arm. They had evil spirits behind those songs, and you trying to be spiritual, but you adding the spiritual with the demonic. Oh man, D'Angelo, when he did Brown Sugar, like I said, he was talking about smoking weed, smoking marijuana. Same thing Rick James done to the Rick James lovers. See, I'm a musician. I do my studying. I investigate. I wasn't always like this, but as I got older, I started going back and looking at what is going on with this music, these lyrics. Because at first I was just like everybody else. I was caught on the beat. Never just listen. But when you slow down, stop, and start listening, you're gonna see a lot of demonic stuff. Do you love me, Mary Jane? Same thing D'Angelo did. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Rick James wasn't talking about a woman. He was talking about, do you love me, Mary Jane? Marijuana. And we all know Rick James did quite a bit of drugs. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Rick James told us his story. It ain't just Rick James. You got people in the gospel field who was smoking dope, doing heroin, crack cocaine, whatever. One drug led to another. They may have started off with just a little bit of weed, and then they elevated from the weed to the hard hitting stuff. The more money they got, the higher their drugs started costing, the higher they wanted to get. Whether you're talking about gospel field or in the world. Now, when I think about all this performing on stage now in the gospel field, it's no different than what they doing in the concerts at the rappers or the R&B singers. See, people get mad when I say, "Well, who? Well, Vicky Winans is my favorite. R. Kelly wrote for them too." Yeah, that same R. Kelly you said on his way to hell, writing music for your gospel artists, hmm. like Vicky Winans, or like I said, Marvin Sapp. R. Kelly done produced for so many people, so many people. But see, Kurt Franklin warned y'all years ago. Kurt Franklin said, "I'm going to change up the game." He said this years ago, and look how Kurt is now. What did he say? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to reach. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the gospel artists and the secular artists, and I'm going to mix it. I'm going to mix it together. And he did. That's why you see a lot of rappers in the world, or R&B singers. They tag team with the gospel artists. They go in the studios together. They get on the stage together. But what do you see wrong with that picture? Hmm. Kurt warned you, I'm going to change the game. I'm going to change it up. Now look at how Kurt danced. Now look at how Kurt performed. Now look at how Kurt music have really, really, really changed since when he came out with Kurt Franklin and the Family. It's all about performing, entertainment now. And I'm not mad at nobody. I love Kurt Franklin. I love everybody name I called out. This is not a hate message. I'm just trying to open up the eyes, open up your eyes, y'all, on how powerful music is and how slick people can move in on you with these lyrics and you don't catch it. That's why I don't like the term gospel music, because when you talk about James Dorsey, when you talk about putting a label or a title on holiness, you don't know what kind of you don't even know what to call the music that David played on the harp when he calmed those evil spirits out of Saul. You wasn't there, I wasn't there. The Bible didn't mention a genre. It didn't say what kind of music it was. But see, now we done put so many labels. Now you got Christian rap. You got gospel rap. You got title after title, genre after genre. You don't know what to listen to half the time. Because what you call gospel ain't nothing but blues and R&B mixed with a little Motown. If you listen to most songs, you can tell where they came from. If you don't know what the artist meant when they were singing that song or writing them lyrics, it would totally throw you off. A lot of people were shocked back in the day when they started listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Then they started having all kind of arguments and disagreements. Wait a minute, is they demonic? Oh, I know them, one of your favorites. Philip Bailey, Maurice White. Maurice is no longer with us. Verdine. If you look at the energy of Verdine on that bass, you should understand why they use the elements. Because if you truly understand what Serpentine Fire is all about, it's about energy. Mm. Creative energy. But it's also referred to a snake. Mm. When you do your history. Forces. Kundalini spirit. Yoga. Maurice White explained this years ago, but it went over most folks' head. He said, when I tell you what I'm talking about, most of y'all won't understand it. Or was they off into astrology? Just listen at the lyrics. And look at the album covers. It's also called a serpent. Mm. Most people won't do the history. So why are you shocked at the energy, or if you shocked at why Kurt Franklin is doing what Kurt Franklin said he was going to do years ago? He said he was going to mix the secular artists and the gospel artists together. Rance Allen did a song. Well, was it a whole album with Snoop Dogg? Somebody emailed me and asked me, do you think Rance Allen was getting high with Snoop? Everybody know how Snoop loved to smoke weed. Bishop Rance Allen, may the Most High rest his soul. Not talking bad about him, y'all, just speaking facts. Because technically, if you're not around, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors in the studio. See, as a musician, as a producer, as an artist, I have been around to see the dirt. I'm gonna tell you something. People who you think in the gospel field so holy, so set apart, so sanctified, they not. That's why I had to applaud CC Winers. Because one thing I can say about CC, if she have done it, I've never seen it, but CC have never stooped low. And CC was great friends with Whitney Houston. But when they had did that video and when they wanted her part of that song, I'm Every Woman, CC said, I can't mix in with you. I can't do that. And Whitney said she knew that CC was gonna say no at that time. See, some of these songs that you think they sang it to the Holy Spirit, they not in the gospel field. They are singing to they loved one. That's why a lot of this music is not talking about the Holy Spirit. Mm. When you don't know what you don't know, you don't know. And I'm not calling everybody demonic. I'm just saying be careful. This is why I am a different type of musician. I don't play with everybody. You ain't gonna see me gigging with everybody. You're not gonna see me going to concerts. You're not gonna see me in half of these musicals in these churches with these musicians with these feminine spirits. That homosexuality spirit that's off in I don't know how many churches. I don't act like, talk like, and damn sure don't dress like them. And that's all about these men wearing these tight pants. There's that spirits behind that. That's why everybody is that I ain't gonna say everybody, but so many of them they dress alike and they feminine alike. I remember this time I was invited to this church, didn't know I was being invited to a homosexual church. Boy, you talking about I was ready to fight and I felt so out of place. I never felt so out of place in my whole life as I took the minister there in my own car. Nobody warned me that this was a gay church from the pulpit on down. Men in there holding hands. I'm sitting on the pew watching other men stand up, clapping and slapping each other on their butt inside the church building. Now, let me ask you a question. We always talking about the word. How you going to get somebody delivered? Just say if a homosexual is coming into the church to get delivered, and the first thing the homosexual coming to the church and see is the homosexual on the organ. Ain't that backwards? You bringing him into the same thing that he's trying to get delivered from, but he see that you leaving it the same. Ain't nobody, and I'm not, this is not a hate message. Somebody got to tell the truth. But how is he going to see deliverance when he see the same thing as he is coming in there, staying the same way, and the preacher the same way? Nobody cares because long as the music draw, oh yeah, that music is drawing left and right. But any and everything is coming behind this music, y'all. Music is not bad. It's the spirit behind music. That's why I say half of these songs that people heard, whether you talking about gospel field or R&B, a lot of people was high, a lot of people was drunk, a lot of people was demons was writing those songs. Let's keep it real. Demons was writing those songs. You drunk, you high, you pushing dope up your own. You don't know really what you're saying. Those demons are writing that music. And they done got off into you. Yeah, you can say what you want. And I'll be the first to tell you, oh, I wish I could have sat down with R. Kelly and had a good talk with R. Kelly and let R. Kelly know, brother, out of love, brother Robert Kelly, everything you talking about, man, what you trying to figure out, it's just demons got you, brother. Sexual demons. What happened to you when you was young? See, don't nobody want to tell the truth. It's demonic. And how can anybody get delivered if the blind is leading the blind? That's my time. I stop right there. But just think about what I said. A lot of the music, a lot of your favorite artists, they songs was rolled by the secular artists that you talking bad about it, kicking to the curb because they worldly. And keep in mind, most of them started in the church and they left the church. And some of them go back and write and produce for the church building. Just something to think about. And I love y'all and have a wonderful, blessed day. Shalom.